and we won her $311,000. And we won more money than that, but her story specifically was just so inspiring for our whole team. They still bring it up to this day of just the changes that it made for her life. Now she has 5 different facilities in the area that are 24-hour service, and she's just making an impact where she's at. So that was a pretty cool win for us.
You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. You are listening to and watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. Hey, you know that I'm a huge proponent of going into business, of becoming an entrepreneur, of entrepreneurship in America. And I think I've found somebody who's even a bigger proponent than myself. Not only is she a proponent, but she's actually helping you get grants, get funding to start your business. Her name is Stormi Banks. Stormi, it's really an honor to have you on the show. Hey, obviously, I would venture to say, and we didn't talk about this pre-call, you probably got yourself a grant, and then it dawned on you that, hey, I figured out how to do it, but there's so many of you out there that have no clue. I can make a business helping you get grants. Do I have that story right?
Yeah, for the most part, it was kind of like during COVID when everyone was needing money and businesses were failing left and right. We were in the same boat, right? We were like, how can we get some money fast without having all of the qualifications of traditional lending? But it honestly just started as a free education. We were on Zooms and on Instagram Lives and just telling people where to go and how to get it. And then ended up, people were like, well, can you do the work for us? And we're like, hey, maybe we should make this a business because we're getting so many people that are in need. And that's kind of how the whole grant writing agency, became alive.
That's really cool. And hey, how many people have you worked with in the past? And how long have you been doing it? I guess I should ask.
Yeah, so right now we launched in March of 2021. So we're coming up on 4 years in 2025. And so far we have had 10,000 clients that we have served and helped throughout this process. We actually just got a notification from our CRM system that said, congratulations, you've hit a 10,000 mile mark. So wow. That's cool. Yeah.
That's remarkable. What kind of fees do people pay you?
It depends on what they're coming for. We do still have our educational services. So we teach, the full process. And then also we have our full service end-to-end grant writing options that start at $700 and go to $3,500.
All right. Tell us your biggest success story to date. You don't have to name names. Just tell us the industry.
Yeah. So it's actually, she has a childcare facility out in Houston. And she had never won a grant before or gotten a loan. She had one small, in-home childcare facility, and she had these big dreams of being 24 hours and having transportation and making a change in her area. We found this grant that was available in her a local area that was giving monies to move your in-home based childcare facility to an actual commercial space. And we won her $311,000. And we won more money than that, but her story specifically was just so inspiring for our whole team. They still bring it up to this day of just the changes that it made for her life. Now she has 5 different facilities in the area that are 24-hour service, and she's just making an impact where she's at. So that was a pretty cool win for us.
Hey, that's amazing. That's really amazing that you could do that. And hey, I'm sure your files are full of success stories, huh?
Absolutely, which is such a blessing, right? We don't take those for granted.
Hey, and it seems like for the amount of money you're charging, this is like the deal of the century.
Yeah, because a lot of people, grant writers, they're charging a lot more than what we charge. But we really wanted to hone in on the fact that we know that people are small businesses. And so they're needing the grant money because they need money, right? So we didn't want to charge exponential prices to make the barrier to entry super duper hard. So we focused on what could be something that would not only serve our expertise, because we're all certified grant writers, but also give access to the people who have been underserved for historical, time periods.
All right. So if somebody comes to you and they're a budding entrepreneur, with not a lot of experience, not a lot of work experience, what are the top 3 pieces of advice that you would give that person?
If they're a budding entrepreneur without a lot of experience, top 3 pieces of advice that I would give them is you need to start reading like ASAP. You know, a lot of the things that you need to know in business are written down in books. People have cataloged their processes. They've cataloged their experiences. I'm a huge advocate for Audible. I listen to, at least 2 books a week at minimum. And I've just gotten so much insight from those books to help me grow and develop new systems and become a better leader. Second piece of advice is get someone on your team who's good with money. You need someone who can raise capital and who can manage capital really, really well. Your finances are going to be so important to the vital success of your business. And if you're not good with it, you need to hire someone who is. And then third piece of advice is become a good leader. Any business that scales, you have to be focused on building people who want to also serve the mission and the vision that you have. And the better you can articulate that to people and serve what they want to do in their lives and help them develop and sustain what they want as well, the more people you'll have on your team to kind of grow what you're doing. So leadership is a big, important piece for me.
All right. So obviously you get a lot of people coming through because people are thinking free money. It's so easy. You just send out a letter and they send you a check, right? But it's not that easy. What are the biggest obstacles to your clients from getting grants?
I think the biggest obstacle is honestly that it is a competition, right? A lot of people do have that notation that, okay, I can just fill out a grant and I'll get the money, but you're going up against other people. And some people have not been taught in the skill of war. This is like a war for us, writing wars. You are trying to articulate yourself in the best way possible in order to be seen or deemed as the obvious choice for the grantor. And so figuring out what makes you different in your industry or doing something that others haven't done before will set you apart. And right now, technology is so big that you can add a tech component to what you're doing and really revolutionize your industry to get grants for that. I think that's one of the biggest things in just having a really good plan, right? People want the money, but when you don't know what you're going to do with the money and it's hard for you to express that to someone else thoroughly, then you find yourself constantly getting denied and then end up being defeated by the process of grants. So I think those are the biggest 2 difficulties in what we do.
All right. Well, hey, life is full of obstacles, but with every obstacle comes an opportunity, right?
Yes.
So, what was the biggest obstacle when you started your grant writing service, your education service?
The logistics. Oh, my goodness. It was the logistics of just managing client expectations and managing the process. We've redeveloped and reimagined our process so many times to enhance the customer experience that now we have it really down to a formula and a science. But getting started with it, it's just how do we maintain our expertise and the way that we like to work, but also making sure that we're just having good communication, educating our clients through the process, because a lot of people who come to us, they're new to this. They don't understand what's going on, and they're really depending on us to not only offer the service, but educate them. And so those 2 things joining those 2 things together were probably the most difficult part of when we got started.
All right. Well, I love what you're doing. I wish it was around when I was doing this, but hey, it's here now. That's the important thing. And AI really, you're saying before, it makes a big impact on what you're doing. Stormi, how do we connect with you? How do we find out more about what you do and perhaps employ you?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm on all social platforms at Stormi Banks with 1_ that's Stormi Banks with an I. Or you can also look up our company. It's called Pink Print Firm, and that's over all socials, and that's also our website as well.
All right. And the link is in the show notes to this interview on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Please, got a question for Stormi or myself, shoot me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. While you're on the site, please sign up for your free newsletter. Give you information like this. A lot of info you just can't find, very difficult to find. Information really is the key to success in business. Stormi, it looks like you've really mastered it. Appreciate you coming on. We'll talk to you again.
Thanks so much. This was awesome.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.